Okay, guys, we are live. So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I will be your friendly dungeon master this morning, this afternoon, this evening, wherever this finds you. Today, we are going to be taking a break from our regular Astonishing Swordsmen and Sorcerers of Hyperborea game to play a very special one-shot to celebrate the release of Paizo Publishing's Pathfinder 2nd Edition. And to keep this in kind of the old school mode that we normally play in these sessions, we are setting our one-shot with all the players taking the role of a student at the Great School of Magic in Glantri City. So old players like myself and like Colin will be familiar with this. This is the setting for the known world, which was the sort of default or baked-in setting for basic D&D for a number of years. Starting with the expert box set. And with me today are the stars of this one-shot. And I'll go the reverse order I got you on the screen here, because we'll end with our very special guest star. First up, we've got John.
Hey everyone, I'm going to be playing Valeria. She is from a kind of shitty area, and she's kind of withdrawn, but she's using arcane power to harness the powers between life and death.
Nice. And next up is Bodo.
Hello, my name is Bodo, and I'm playing Kila Erewan, who is an elf that comes directly out of the wood and tries to learn something.
Nice. And next up is Arlen Walker.
Hi, I'm Arlen, playing Angus McLeish, and he's not a Scotsman from not Scotland, and he's my kind of wizard in that he casts spells to make his sword powerful so that he can beat people with it.
So Arlen, you're not familiar with the Glantri setting, but interesting thing, they're actual Scotsmen.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're from actual Earth. So
you are playing them, bro.
Well, that's even better.
Next up is Brandon.
Yep, I'm Brennan. I'm playing Juan Giuliano de Belcadiz. He is a Belcadiz elf who's wearing a little too much perfume.
Nice. And next up is Colin.
Hello, I am Colin, aka Spike Pit, and I may or may not be playing Torg the Effingar Warlock.
Nice. And last but not least, joining us for the first time on the channel and as a very special guest star is Andrew.
Hello, I'm Andrew. I'm playing Albert von Graustein, a rather self-important son of a even more important, or he'll tell you he's important, noble family.
Nice. So, now, one of the things that keen viewers at home may have noticed is that we're actually all playing wizards today. They're all wizards, Harry. And the reason for that is for a twofold point. One is I'm scratching an itch that I've had since the Principality of Glantri Gazetteer came out in 1987. So it's a mere 30-year itch that I'm finally getting a chance to scratch. And secondly, also to give an opportunity for none of the guys, Arlen's played Pathfinder 2 so far. None of the other guys have had a chance to play it yet. We had been talking back and forth on email about giving this a go, and I thought it would be fun to showcase how different this is from previous editions of the world's favorite role-playing game by showing how a group of wizards could all be very, very different at the table. So, where we're going to start, guys, is with a cutscene. So what you can see on our set, the setting for our adventure today is the Great School of Magic set in Glantri City. Glantri City, if you look at the map down here, let me bring you guys down. Boom. This is the Principalities of Glantri, and Glantri City is sort of located near the sort of north center, I guess, of Glantri. I mentioned before we went live that Glantri is a magocracy. It is ruled by a bunch of disparate and self-interested mages who rule their own principalities, and they're collected together in a loose sort of conglomeration or loose structure which is ruled from the city of Glantri. And in the city of Glantri, there is this school that has been put together by the finest wizards from anywhere in the known world, or at least they'll tell you that they are the finest wizards in the known world. You all have, from each of you from your own homes in the different principalities, has received an invite. You were accepted to the school, and today is the first day of class. However, someone is running late. Oh, actually, I do want to start with a cutscene first. So we start with a cold open, and what we see is it is nighttime in Glantri City. If you see on the left here, the illustration of Venice there, that is very much what Glantri City looks like. It is cut back and forth through with these canals. What is not depicted on the map or in the... Well, you can see in the illustration there a little bit. There are, of course, like walkways, and there's bridges that cut across a lot of the places. And this time of night seems very, very light. I mean, it's you can tell it's late because there's no one on the street. But what you hear...
Street?
What's that?
What street?
Sorry, what street?
Yeah.
Not important. Not important.
No, there's no street. There's water.
Sorry? No, I just said that there's walkways as well too. So yeah. So you got what you hear is the sound of footfalls in the open, and empty streets. Pop, 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 pop. And the pace at which you're hearing them tells you someone is running. And then we see running around a corner this youngish looking person in a long robe. And the look on the person's face and the pale, cast of their skin tells you, and the clammy kind of sweat that's collected around it, that they've been running from something. And they're racing along, and they get to a junction, where it splits off in two different directions. Panic looks in one direction, looks in the other direction, and then goes racing off in another. We can hear the sound of something skittering along a rooftop nearby. And we can tell that this person running can tell that because he's looking up trying to spot where that sound is coming from. And this goes on for, another couple of streets until he reaches one point where there's an alleyway. He turns and starts racing down the alleyway. And then, unfortunately, his attention is focused behind him. He turns back and then runs into this enormous spider's web. And it's so thick, this isn't a matter of walking through an old and, dusty area. It actually holds him firm. And his face is now, unfortunately, stuck to the spider web, and he can't see what is behind him. But you hear this poof, and you hear as something slowly starts moving towards. We have a very close shot on his face. Again, pale, slick with sweat. He's straining against the sticking spider webs as he's trying to look back and see what's behind him. His eyes craning to the very corner of his eye sockets. And as this thing moves in closer, we fade to black. And we open up in the daytime in the one of the canals of Glantri City. And there are three people that are in this gondola. One of them is a gondolier, dressed in the traditional kind of black with the big, fancy hat, using the pole to move things along. There is a man who's middle-aged, who looks like... Why is this thing showing up in here? Good golly. Is that it? No. Where is he? Oh, here we go. This is what the man looks like, and he is standing near the back of the gondola, his arms crossed, dressed in that kind of lacquered armor, and with the kind of gothic look to both his mustache and his armor, we can tell that this is a native of the Principality of Moldavia. And at the front of the gondola is a young and beautiful woman with long black hair, dressed all in black, with a raven on her shoulder. And she is at the very front of the gondola, tapping her foot. And she looks back and she says, "Can you make this go faster?" And the gondolier, the man, looks back at the gondolier, and the gondolier kind of shrugs and keeps slowly, making his pace. Valeria, this is, of course, you and your father, Ilya Vaduva. Now, you've run late. This is the first day of classes, and you're already late. You were supposed to be arriving at the Grand Common. You were told to be there by the headmaster, Prince Etienne d'Amberville, and your dad has got you late today. What do you do? What do you say?
I turn to him and eyeball his mustache, which I've always hated. And I'm like saying, "You've made me late, Father. You will use your considerate pull to make sure I get into school properly."
Now, one thing that you can tell from this, Ilya Vaduva is he is a noble, or he at least is from a noble family, but he is not a magic user. He's not a wizard. So he looks at you, and you see his mustache kind of like moves back and forth, as if to say like we didn't squander an enormous amount of our fortune getting you into this school in the first place. But he just sort of, arms crossed, glares at you.
She just turns up her nose and looks off into the distance.
Where do you think that Valeria fits in the birth order here? Do you think she's oldest girl, youngest, middle? What's the dynamic between her and her dad here?
I'd say she's eldest.
Okay, yeah. So she's used to getting what she wants.
The youngest. Oh my god.
They wouldn't have spotted
But
that much money on
that's
it.
super funny because I had her in the middle.
I was thinking youngest.
Okay, so the gondolier, you sort of carries on at the same pace that he was before. Your raven, whose name I think is Jacob, is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. So Jacob kind of like, I can't remember. Does he talk or not?
Yes, I've chosen the speech thing for him.
Nice. Okay, cool.
And he's quite sarcastic.
He's quite sarcastic. Is this like every animated bird where it has Gilbert Gottfried's voice?
Pretty much.
Nice. Okay, so you this thing comes slowly winding around to this to the common, and what you've agreed, because you were late arriving. There was late snows, so you were held up in one of the passes coming from Moldavia. Your father will see your belongings brought to the great school itself. You want to make sure you're here. So I'm going to guess that, and you can correct me if I'm wrong on this, you're not even like, the gondola hasn't even come to stop on the dock when you leap from it and go racing over to go and join your ally.
Pretty much.
Okay. So what you do, guys, is let's bring you over to here. Boom. And Valeria, you are running up late to this, and you basically have joined the rest of your colleagues here. Let me bring you all into the area. There we are, guys. Now, does everyone see their token in there?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, so let's do this, guys. As Valeria comes running up, you guys have been waiting here for about an hour and 15 minutes, waiting for things to start. Now, you guys.
Okay, then I need to mention I've not been there an hour and 15 minutes because that would screw up my spell.
Okay, so you were late as well. You were late for first day of classes?
Yeah, so I just pull up briefly before the latecomer Valeria.
Okay. Now
I slide in there.
What we see, guys, is they're standing around you. I'll leave you for last call, and just so you can give a description of whatever you're looking like right now.
Yeah, my hijinks.
So there are a fair amount of young wizards, young individuals standing around. Some that are obviously wizards, some less so. They seem kind of out of place. So let's go through, and again, like knowing that you guys have been waiting here for about an hour and 15 minutes, like you are late. Now, and I'll do the oldest person last, but let's start with you, Andrew. So, what do we see as Valeria walks up? What do we see with Albrecht?
I imagine he's also kind of standing, leaning up against whatever thing he can find. Kind of similar to Valeria, is rather impatient, but he's kind of not so much looking at the others so much as kind of looking through them.
Nice.
And seems to be just kind of more or less just impatient with the whole proceedings.
Okay. So you've been Next up, we see Juan Juliano de Belcadiz.
Okay, so Julian Melodies is probably the shortest person there, by quite a bit. Although he is definitely acting like he's not. He is leaning up against some like one sort of stone. Yeah, and he's got this like lanky looking Russian blue kind of cat on his shoulder. It has very piercing, almost like unnaturally blue eyes. And he's just stroking his chin, and he's just stroking it under the chin and like looking around at people, making sure, seeing if anybody comes a little bit too close within range.
Yeah. Okay. And for Angus McLeish, what do we see with him?
Well, he's a big barbaric looking dude, right? But I think the biggest thing that we notice kind of beyond his physical stature is that he just sort of radiates this kind of manic energy almost, that it's like his mind is going 2 or 3 times faster than his body can keep up with, and so he kind of, his eyes flash around back and forth, and he sort of stands up and paces a little bit and then pauses and stands for a moment, and he's just too much energy for his frame.
Okay. And then next we have Kila Irawan. What's Kila been doing here?
Kila doesn't like people, so she moves to the flowers and trees and so on, and have a look at them and decide if the one who could take care of them is skilled or not skilled.
Yeah. And what does Juan Juliano think of this elf going and playing?
He's completely ignoring her. Like he's actually like looking and sizing up around her, but like to her, he just like he definitely like his eyes just go right over her.
Okay. And what about Torgana?
Okay, so
or Torgana?
Yeah. So it's you don't know this, but she's quite a playful trickster type of character, and she's not a one for the rules. So she's come in on a horse, which is frowned upon, and kind of does a lap around the gardens. But you see this like Effingar warrior kind of guy with the composite bow and the full battle dress that you would expect to see.
So for those who aren't familiar with Principality, Effingar is effectively like an Airsats Mongol.
Yeah.
Barbarians. So she like rolls up with a display of horsemanship. She kind of dismounts from her horse, appearing as a male at this point in time.
Yeah.
Probably around 6 foot. She will try and maximize this effect with the height and kind of strutting, sort of look around, sizing everybody up.
Okay.
Getting that kind of Klingon vibe going.
Yeah.
So and she'll just kind of stand there, kind of proud and large, but inside she's kind of like smirking.
Okay. Angus, what do you make of this? Like, this is, you thought you would be the only martial kind of, student at the great school for this conclave. What do you make of seeing this Effingar warrior show up?
Well, I kind of can't decide if we're going to be friends or not, because I could definitely see us, we get into an arm wrestling match or something and become good friends, but I could also see it, turning into a fist fight and becoming bad blood. So I'm just kind of, but I'm ready for whatever happens. I'm, just raring to go.
Excellent. Okay, so
I'll give Angus like a kind of a nod, like, because I've done this thing of quite a bit. This is like a party trick of mine amongst the warriors. So I will know that warrior code and just like a knowing nod.
Okay, so I mentioned that there is one adult here as well too. And that adult is of course Professor Heinrich Eisenfaust, and this is what Eisenfaust looks like.
Whoa!
Yeah. He is.
I want that mace.
So
I'll get back on my horse.
Eisenfaust is Albanese, like what's his name? Albrecht is, and this is actually an uncle of yours, but he has just been
Distant.
standing, arms crossed, like he's also not a very big guy either. Like Eisenfaust only stands about like maybe 5'7", but he stands there with just like radiating hostility to everyone. So he's been sitting and glaring, and if any of you guys, you can tell me whether you tried to interact with him whatsoever. He just meets your efforts at interacting with just this steely glare, and then he'll do an up and down, and then look off as if you were not even there. So, Valeria, this is what you run up to.
Okay, this is interesting. So, you guys hear the click, click, click of her boots on the cobblestones as she walks in, and like kind of in a hurry, and then the occasional clack as her staff hits the ground. And the look on her face when she throws her hood back, she's just daring anybody to say anything about her being late. Just each one of you. And then when she spots the professor, she walks up to him and then like gets within like 6 feet and then kneels down and apologizes for being late.
Okay.
She knows his time is more important than this.
He looks down, and that like snarl of displeasure that's been on his face since you guys first met him doesn't move an awful lot. But he looks down and says, you can see he maybe thinks about trying to say something for the tardiness or whatnot. I mean, the headmaster d'Amberville said that tardiness will be rewarded with a curse. But he does nothing of it. He sweeps his big black cloak back, and then he withdraws some kind of strange, like brass. It looks like a little dish or disc, and he looks at you all and says, "Gather round."
And, Valeria stands up, and there's like a brief, instant look of relief on her face, and then she looks around and steps closer.
There we go. There's Heinrich. Okay, so if you guys all gather around what's going on with my camera here? Boom. So what happens as you guys all gather around? Jeez, come on. There we go, camera. He has the disc out, and then he gestures across it with his gloved hand, and this image appears floating there. It's like a head, kind of like a magical version of like a Star Wars hologram. And what you see is this head. And you all can guess who this is. That this is, of course, the headmaster. This is Prince Etienne d'Amberville, one of the great princes that makes up the Galantrian government, and the headmaster of the Great School of Magic. He appears, and he says, "Hello, students, and welcome to the Great School of Magic. I apologize for not attending in person, but I trust that Instructor Eisenfaust will provide the appropriate instruction. Good luck in your studies, and I look forward to meeting you all, those that survive the initiation."
Valeria's eyebrows shoot up. She's like, "What?"
And then it goes out. And Eisenfaust then stuffs the thing back in his satchel, and he kind of glares at all of you. And he says, "You think that you have had an accomplishment? You think getting in here is the end of your struggles? You come here with your enchantments and sorceries and spells, thinking that you are something special. You are not!" And he's even shorter than you, Juan Juliano. So he's just like, boiling with this frantic, angry energy.
Small man syndrome.
Totally.
Familiar,
He's just
Jacob. He's gonna repeat "not," and she's gonna go shh.
he shoots an eye, look over there. And he strides forward to you, Albrecht, and he says, "You think that something that your papa did makes you special? Or your mama? No such thing. The Conclave is in session. Let us see if you belong." and he brings out this little kind of circlet. It looks like an iron circlet. And he says, "We've start testing your skills with a simple task. Conclave Wyvern Wing!" And he calls out, and you see what strides out. You have to zoom out a scooch here, guys. But at the far end of the... let me move to the proper layer here. Boom. Oh, no, wrong one. Shit.
Broomsticks.
I'm getting like an evil Danny DeVito vibe here.
Are we playing Quidditch?
Let's see here. Oh, god dang. Hold on. I put them all in the wrong layer. I put them on the token layer, on the map layer or the token, but I need to be careful not to move the whole damn map now. Once again, problem between keyboard and chair here.
That's it.
All right. So what you see is these guys stride out, and if you give me a sec here, I will show you what these guys all look like. They are all dressed in nearly identical black robes. Now, let's get some dice rolling going here, guys. I think I would like everyone to kindly give me a society check, please. Oh, you know what? Hold on. You can choose to use society, or you can choose to use Arcana. I'm fine with either of those. This is judging whether you know what's going on with the, in this scene here.
Mine are the same roll, so.
Okay. So let's see here.
Nope.
Hey!
Hold on. Did I get
It's telling that the nobleborn will know.
Okay, let's see here. I don't know. Oh, a nat 1 from Angus.
Yep.
Angus, you know nothing, Angus.
Good golly.
Mine's 10 different places at once, and none of them are the one it's supposed to be.
I was a little ambitious with I think my mouse clicked.
Oh, okay. No problem. Your first one was a 16, though, so that's good enough.
There we go.
Okay, so 16, 18, 20. All right, so a couple things that you guys know here. And Angus, I think this is in keeping with your backstory. You've not really been keeping on top of what to expect here. So one of the things that happens, guys, is each graduating class is part of what's called a conclave. If you think of like the Harry Potter houses, it's kind of like that. Each year you go in, but it's not like a regimented program. The conclave graduates when all members of the conclave are ready to graduate. The members of the conclave also get a chance to name the name the conclave. So you guys will come up with a name for your conclave as well. This is Conclave Wyvernwing, and these guys are all dressed with like this, complete with that douchebag expression on their face as well. As all.
Oh my god, that's gonna get you one big punch, man.
I know.
And then each of them is also carrying with them a broom in their hands.
The Nimbus 2000.
Exactly. So they're all walking up carrying the brooms. And now, let's see here. Who rolled a 20 on their society check?
Not a 21.
Keela. Oh, and you got 21. Okay. So Valeria and Keela, you actually know about this particular tradition, too. And it's actually something that's supposed to be kept secret. What this is this is the crowning of the queen. It is one of the sort of traditions of this. What Heinrich is going to ask you to do is you guys need to get past these guys, and then just simply, there is a statue at the far end here. You need to put the crown on the queen's head. However, those of you who may have been thinking that this is going to be a simple matter of Quidditch, that's not how things work in Glantri. So, all of these step up, and Professor or Instructor Eisenfaust holds the iron thing ring up. He turns to the side and he says, "This is a simple task. We'll see if you are worthy, and whether this conclave is worth the trust of the Grandmaster." And he just drops it, clang, 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 to the ground. Is someone standing on him, or did I accidentally erase him?
You erased him.
Oh, did I? Okay. Okay, so then he steps to the side. We'll say it's right around here, like at Valeria's feet there. And what you see is each of these Wyvern Wing students walks up. They hold the broom ahead of them, and then they bring their hand away, and the broom just kind of hovers there themselves. And then each of them sort of adopts a stance. There's mystic kind of runes that appear around them, and then all the brooms kind of start racing forward towards you guys. So here's what we're going to do, is I need each of you to kindly click on your token. We're going to be transitioning now from the exploration mode into the encounter mode. And when you do that in Pathfinder 2, there's no initiative stat. What we do is we sort of figure out narratively what makes sense for transitioning from one to the other. Normally, that's going to be, at default, it's going to be your perception. So you're going to click on your token and then click on perception. But because Keela and Valeria knew what was coming, you rolled well enough to know what this task is, I'll let you use Arcana and Society, respectively, for your initiative stat. Okay. And Torgana, I think I might let you use Deception if you want as well, because you were in that other form. So once you do that, guys, just click on your token, then click on. You may need to change the drop-down menu to be a different skill. If not, just click on Initiative, and then it should populate. As long as you click your token.
And where should I click Initiative?
On the character tab of your character sheet on the right side, under Perception. And let me roll for these things here.
I'm guessing we're attacking the brooms and not the people. That seems like a bad faith kind of thing.
Well, I mean, that will be... There have been no other instructions. I think what you know... because you rolled well enough, Valeria. Yeah. You know, like, the goal is getting it on the tab. And these are advanced... Oh, I roll a nat 20. We're off to the races, guys.
So where are we supposed to get the crown on?
Where I should click... sorry.
Okay, so click... first, select your token. So make sure you've got your token selected. Then if you go onto your character sheet... For Keela, go to the character sheet tab under Character... And then you see under Perception, on the right side, just under your hit points.
Initiative. Okay.
So then what you can do, see there's a drop-down menu there. You can choose to select a different skill.
Okay, I have to...
Because if your society is better than what your perception is, you can choose to do that.
Does it work? Yeah. Okay.
Okay, great.
Net 1. Great.
Excellent. So Keela's in there. So who am I missing? I'm missing Albrecht and Toragana. Andrew, could you find the where the initiative tab is?
I think I rolled. Did it not show up in the...
Oh, you probably didn't click your token.
Did you click... well, I saw you on the token. If you select your token and then go to your character sheet and click on Initiative, not on Perception.
Okay, hold on.
It's in the same area. Like, one is Perceive, one is Initiative.
Right. Yeah. There we go.
Okay. All right. And then let me add... you know what I'll do is I'll let you... Your first roll was better. I'll let you use that instead.
Quite gracious.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so guys, and now one thing I want to mention now is each of you, you'll notice you've got a little green tab there with a 1 in it. That is your hero points. And we've been playing for an hour now. Guys, you get another hero point as we jump into this. What the hero points can be done, so if you click on your token, click on the green circle, and then just either hit +1 or hit 2 and then enter, and that'll update your hero points. Hero points can be spent to re-roll, or they can be spent to not die. You can spend all of them to not die and not start adding the dying condition.
So attacking the people is not is not the target, just destroying these rooms.
No, the task is getting the crown onto the second fountain there, or second area. You're descending. Boom. What your task is to put the crown on one of the... Yep, right there. That is what your task is. And these upperclassmen are going to try and stop you from doing that.
With harmful magic, or just with...
That you need to judge for yourself.
Okay.
You rolled well enough in your society. You know that, like, you're not supposed to kill these guys. You can... because Glantri is not, this is a magocracy, and it's very much kind of magical might makes right. But if knowing that these are upperclassmen who have greater studies and greater knowledge of magic, they may respond in kind.
Okay. So don't touch them.
Yeah. So let's go. So now we're going to go initiative order. So each round, guys, we talked about this before we went live as well too. But just to reiterate, every round you guys are going to have 3 actions, and there's no such thing as like standard or move or bonus or swift or anything like that. It's just 3 actions. So, but I won, or rather, the brooms won initiative. So the brooms are going to go first, which means they don't. Okay, so they go lurching forward. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. They seem to be. So that's how far they can move. My goodness. Whoosh. They're whooshing towards you guys. And they're hovering about a foot off the ground. All right. So that is them. Next up is Angus. Angus, you got 3 actions. What do you want to do? An interact with object is an action as well too.
Yep, that's so. I'm trying to decide if I want to pull out my sword and slash at one of them, or if I want to just wrestle it, because that sounds fun too.
Mm-hmm. So that's a good point. So let's quickly mention the way that all like grappling and tripping, disarm, all those things that were like maneuvers in other versions. It's just use of your athletics stat. It's an attack. So you can do it multiple times as actions, and it incurs the multi-attack penalty, but it's a lot easier for anybody to just jump in and scrap it up or ground and pound kind of stuff. So Angus, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, so I'm gonna stride in to this one, and then I'm gonna do my best to grab it and hold on.
Guys, whoever's drawing that, please stop.
Okay.
So, okay. So you're gonna. So let's see here. That'll be a stride action.
Yep, stride action, and then an athletics check too.
Okay. So try and grapple it. So, let's see how you do. Ooh, 20. Okay. So the DC will be its AC. Wow. Okay. So yeah, you've got a hold of this thing. It's not a crit success. And in this version, guys, if you roll 10 over your target number, that's a crit success. If you roll 10 under, it's a critical fumble. So you've got a hold of this thing now. What are you going to do? You got one more action.
Well, what I'd really like to do is like Bo Jackson style snap it over my knee, but that seems a little excessive.
Do it.
Okay.
Can I try that?
Yeah, so that'll be
Is that just another athletics check?
Yeah, and it'll be -5 because it's second action.
Yeah.
Let's try here.
Let's do that. But
okay. So you've got yourself positioned over this thing, and it's starting to lift up.
I'm gonna use my hero point to re-roll that 9.
Go right ahead. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, give me 1 second. Guys, I'm gonna quickly hit refresh on this because there's some like artifact that's lingering over it that is is blocking my view of the immediate results. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. There we go. Okay, everyone's back?
Yep.
Excellent. Okay. So
Yep.
All right. After the -5, it's only an 11.
It's only an 11. Okay, so unfortunately that is not quite good enough. But it's not the crit fumble that the other one was.
Yep.
Okay, so that is it for Angus. Next up is Juan Juliano. What are you doing?
I'm actually just gonna turn to Valeria and say, after you, señorita.
Oh, smoothie.
So I'm gonna.
You're gonna hold the action?
Can I hold my initiative until after? She goes?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So the next up is Albrecht. What are you doing?
I am. So the object is still kind of sitting by Valeria's feet.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. Don't do it. No.
I have planned for that crown.
No. Okay. Could I move? I guess I'm gonna go between Keela and Angus.
Okay. So you can move. So if you're taking a stride action for one of your 3 actions, that's equal to your speed. Which I think is 25. I think everyone's got 25.
Yeah, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And each of these are 5, right?
5. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be, I guess, 5, 10. So that would take like 15? Well, no, because there's a second diagonal, right? And that.
Yeah, second
there's
diagonal
an
costs
additional-
2. Yeah. I mean,
Okay, so then I think that would be my full movement just to get there.
okay. So you got that's one of your stride. Remember, you could choose to keep spending your actions on striding. But you moved over there, and Angus is sort of like on top of this broom that is like. 2 more actions. What do you want to do?
Well, there's one kind of in front of me still, right? So
Mhm.
I could use so I guess it would be another action to get into range with it, and then would I have anything? Would the final action be enough to try to grapple it?
You could try, yeah, because an attack is just one action.
So I could use another action to.
You know what, Albrecht? I think you could have got there in one. If that's what your intent is, I think you could have got there in one move. You can move through ally squares, so you could one action to stride over there, another action to try and grapple it, and you still have one more left over to try and do something else if you wanted to do it.
Sure. Okay. Then let's do.
Sure.
Let's do that.
Nice.
So grapple. Where is my?
So it'll be under your athletics, under the character tab.
Yep.
Under your skill list.
Athletic. There we are. Okay.
Boom. 14. So Angus made this look really easy. But this thing, you're going in there, and this thing is like pat, 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 and like wrapping your knuckles as you're trying to get your hand in. Like, oh god. Now you do have 2 hero points right now. You could spend 1 to re-roll if you want, or you can make another attempt to grapple as your second attack. It'll be -5 on that attack. And -5 to give you guys to help judge what the difficulty is too. Levels and the difficulty numbers are generally keyed to your level. So like -5, -10 for the third. It's not an impossibility. It's hard, but it's not the like, there's no chance of me succeeding here.
Yeah, I might just try again.
Okay, here we go.
Take the risk.
The -5.
Oh. Nope.
Okay, so that's a 3. So that Andrew, I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to talk about critical failures.
There you go. I like to be helpful.
So here's what I'm gonna do is actually like you're kind of getting in there, and Angus has got himself sort of like nearly on top of this thing. You try and do the same type of approach, but this thing then sort of like starts sweeping at your legs. So I'd like you to give me a reflex save to see if you fall prone.
All right.
And that'll be right in the middle of the page.
And my headcanon is very much like Albrecht sat there watching this guy try to do this, and he's like, "Please, let me show you how this is done." And clearly,
yeah. So, and as you hit the ground, what you see is like you're looking right back, and all you see is Eisenfaust with his.
My dad's gonna hear about this.
Yeah, exactly. Valeria, what are you doing?
She looks around and seeing what's going on. She's like, "Are you wizards or are you?" She goes, "Ah," and she. How tall is this fountain area? Like, is it
the fountain, it's going to count as difficult terrain. The lip of the fountain itself is probably about 3 feet up. It's like ankle or rather like knee deep, maybe.
Okay. Could I use 2 actions to get across it?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So Valeria is gonna just shake her head and then look at Jacob and say, look at the ground and says, "Fetch," and then she's going to dart off
to
the side.
Excellent. So that's what John is doing, I think, is you're spending one of your actions to command your minion.
Yep.
So that then gives, let me give you a token for Jakob. Let's see here.
Yeah. And he's going to interact and then fly it to me.
Okay. Well, they only have 2 actions.
Yeah. So I'm basically just stepping away, so he's going to be like in the air, so he's going to drop, grab it, and then fly to me.
Well, no, because remember, interact with minions only have 2 actions. He'll stride over there, and then he'll interact with object to grab onto it.
Isn't it like right at my feet, though?
It's still striding moving is 1 action, and then interact with object is another one. So
that's fine. Just bring it to me next turn then.
Oh, oh my gosh. So I did a search for Raven, and there's some creator whose name is Raven something or other, and I got a bunch of things that are not what I'm looking for. Let's do Crow. Oh, how's this one here? Boom. How's that suit you?
That's cool.
Yeah, that's from Dead Roads. Okay, let me see here. I'm going to give you control here. Where are you? Valeria. Boom. Now, obviously, he's not that big, but, you know.
Yeah, so he's going to step where it is and then pick it up.
Awesome. So he's got his hands on that. All right. Then next up is Juan Juliano.
Okay, I think what I'm gonna do. Let's see. Can I get? I'm trying to see if I can get here. If I were to move here, no, I don't think that's a 15-foot cone. I want to cast Burning Hands on as many of these brooms down here as I can. So, let's go with I don't know if I can get all three.
So it is.
You can't get all three. You can only hit two.
Yeah, I think so. That's true.
My idea too. So.
Okay. All right.
Get some space.
Yeah, I'll get the ones. I'll get the ones on the left side then. So I think I have to move down here.
Okay.
That's one of my, I guess.
Okay, so you're just going to stride forward. Yeah.
And then I'm going to use my remaining 2 actions to cast Burning Hands on. That'll hit these 2 right here.
Okay, so go ahead. So first off, tell us what it looks like as you cast Burning Hands.
Okay. It's definitely, and to anybody who's trained eye, he's adding in a several flourish movements that are kind of superfluous and unnecessary. But it's definitely like flipping the cape, display the rapier, yeah, that kind of stuff. Pronunciation's a little exaggerated too, even on his verbal components.
Yeah.
But yeah, it gets the job done.
Yeah.
Destruction of school property, minus 20 points to Ravenclaw.
All right. Okay, so it's 2d6, I think. 2d6,
just click on it. I think you put it in, didn't you?
Yeah, I should have. Yeah.
Well, you should have, or you did.
I did. Yeah. Hold on.
Both.
Because if you click on the spell, it should show up in the chat.
Oh.
Did you enter it in under your spells?
Yep.
Yeah. Perfect. Okay.
So do I? Because I'm not seeing a button to click for damage.
Okay, so what you have to do is you do have to add that in, but go ahead and just roll 2d6, and we'll just add that. Okay.
All right, so that's good.
Okay, 15-foot cone. All right.
Ooh.
Whoa! Wow. Okay, so. And yeah, so both of those brooms are completely consumed.
All right.
They drop down, and the 2 of the Wyvern Wing Conclave students are like, ugh! They are not pleased with you, Juan Juliano. Toragana.
Okay, so in my Effengarian form there, I take on a slight steely glaze, eyeing up the situation. And I'm thinking that if I rush forward at full speed, I would draw level to the broom in front of Albrecht.
Yep.
Which is 5 squares away at 25-foot movement. If I'm standing next to it, so a movement would be one action, yeah?
A stride, yeah. A stride is you can move up to your thing, and then a step is you move 5 feet in non-difficult terrain, and then you do not incur reaction. So we talked about this a bit before we went live, but Pathfinder 2 does away with the ubiquitous attacks of opportunity. Generally, it's only fighters who have it as player characters, and adversaries, they have to you'll be able to read what kind of adversaries will have attacks of opportunity. It's usually like things that seem militaristic or fighter-ish.
Okay, so if I explain to you what I'm going to do, if you would be so kind as to tell me how I could achieve that,
sure.
that would
be very
cool. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to run down towards that broom. I think I'm near enough.
Yep.
And as I'm going, I want to be casting Tanglefoot. But,
okay. So Tanglefoot it's 2 actions to cast that.
Oh, is it all?
I think because the way we know that is because of it has a somatic and verbal component. I think.
Ah, right.
Right. So that tells us it's 2.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm not going to quite be able to do what I want to do, but that's fine because maybe Albrecht might be able to take advantage of the situation.
Okay.
And I'm assuming that I can call out and stuff like that at no cost
for free. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
So
okay,
but one thing that's worth mentioning too. So there is an action called Seek, and basically it's if you're going to try and gather information about something, if you want to it's basically it settles the question of like, well, can I make a perception check to during my action? No, you have a seek action. You get to make a perception check, and then you might gather some new information from that.
All right, okay.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do, I'm going to run down there, and then, as is the way of things, I'm going to modify this spell, even though it's the first time I've ever used it.
Yeah.
All right, so forget all the vine covered in sticky nonsense. All right, because I'm from Effingar.
Yeah.
We're people of the grasslands, and so this is like a couch grass, which is like a spreading grass that's rampant where I come from. So what is happening is I'm inspiring like the grass in this area to like rise up, and it's twisting, and it's quite like growing over this broom and entangling the broom in a kind of like an exuberant, naturistic kind of energy thing.
Love
and it entangling the broom, and I'm calling out to Albrecht in my because well, basically this is an illusion that I'm casting, and I have to put on a voice because I can't do a voice with the illusion. So as I'm like this 18-year-old girl, I have to put on a deep voice. Jump on the broom! Ride it like you stole it!
Okay, so let's do a couple of things here. First up, let's do a click on your Tanglefoot spell, and let's see what I know. I think there's a reflex save I need to make.
Oh, okay. So
I think
it might not even work.
Let's just hold on, guys. Stop talking. Let's just click on the spell and let's see what it says.
Okay. Spells. Cantrip, Tanglefoot.
There you go. All right.
23.
Okay. Oh, you get an attack roll. Wow, so that's a great one. Is that a crit? Not quite a crit, but all right. So you succeeded, which means that this thing slows down by 10 feet. Wow, for one round. So yeah, you're grabbing this thing, and the broom is sort of like jerking and moving and trying to get away from you, but it's partially encapsulated. Now, what I want to do is, Andrew, what is Albrecht's? What is your perception bonus?
Let me see. 3. It does. I don't really think there. Yeah, that's all it's listed.
It says which?
3 is the
3. Okay, so then that means that your Torgana, I need you to make a deception check, please, against a DC 13. So this is going to be. I'm going to see if whether Albrecht is like, wait, that's not a man.
Deception check. That's a skill, yeah. So, yeah, I'm not very good at it. So
No,
here you go. Oh,
nice.
no.
Okay, so yeah, it passes to thing.
Yeah.
Now, does anybody else have a perception score higher than +5?
Yes.
Okay, so Valeria, you look over.
Yes.
That man is not a man. He certainly looks the part.
You smell too nice.
Yes, perfumed. Okay, Bodo, what is Kilo's perception bonus?
+6, and she sees this failure and said, "Imposter, imposter!"
Okay, so that is it. So Torgana, that won't be an action. You could still move yourself if you like as well too. You could do a stride, or you could do something else.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah.
And then we'll go with Kila. Kila, you got 3 actions. What do you want to do?
If I move here and then I want to cast a Torah, you was really standing there.
Say again, sorry.
Toga, can you please stay there?
Oh, if you like, yeah.
Okay, then from this angle, I can cast a 15 feet cone and get the 2 of them in a burning hand spell.
Okay. So go ahead and roll 2d6. Oh yeah, damage is 8. Ooh. Okay, so they are extremely scorched, but they're not quite down. So they're still like, burned, and like the straw on the end is all like still burning and on fire, as if it's a wick. Oh, so I think that's all of your actions. That means it is the broom's turn. Okay, so guys, the broom time. Angus, for you, the broom is going to try and overpower you. Okay, so Angus, You
Ow.
do have your hands on it. You're like, and then the broom starts, and it raises you up 15 feet in the air,
Oh no.
and then it's going to try and escape from your hold. So, oh no, but I rolled 2, so it's shaking you around, and you and your kilt are being tossed back and forth. And I think that's it for the actions for you. So you are now 15 feet in the air, grappled onto this broom. The other broom is going to zip around the side and go racing up towards where Jacob is.
No, Jacob, run.
What is Jacob's AC right now? I can't remember. It should say on your...
I've got his, he's got an unarmed defense of +0.
So he's got a 10 AC?
He's got an 11.
11 AC, okay. So this thing comes racing up, and then it, like, it's as if it's going to, you know, curling sweep this thing. I think we're going to... Your bird's going to go over to flight. So your bird takes... oh my god. So that is... sorry, it's not... It's double damage. 8 points of... bludgeoning damage.
Well, he's at 0.
So he's unconscious. This is not non-lethal, though, so he's unconscious. And he goes flying back. And he's covered in dust as well from the edge of that thing. So that's only 2 actions. I think then the last thing this thing will do is it'll stride over to where Juan Juliano is. This next one will... let's see here. I got 2 Albrechts in here. Oof, get rid of you. Oh, that's
Since the familiar is part of my character, can it benefit from my hero point?
No. Well, hero point you can only spend like it won't restore it to consciousness. What it does is it restores you to 0. So you just don't gain a dying condition. This was a non-lethal attack. You're not gaining dying.
Oh.
Right. So
I forgot something. With burning hands, they get a reflex saving throw for half damage or non-damage.
oh, right.
Oh shoot.
Okay, so that succeeds. That
Wizards
succeeds.
never tell the secret.
Okay. Well, I made the mistake. I'm running the damn game, so I'll not apply that to the other ones that are gone already. But this other one moves up towards you, Keela. Does a 20 hit your AC?
Yes.
And it's not a crit, though, right? It's not.
15. I have 15.
Awesome.
So,
Okay. So then you take 3 points of bludgeoning damage, and you are covered in dust. I need you to give me a fortitude save, please. Nice.
18.
Okay, so as this thing hits you, like it sort of spins up and hits you with the broom end, or like the head of the broom, and all this dust comes around you. You fortunately don't breathe any of it in. If you had failed, you would have had to spend your next action coughing.
Oh.
Okay, but Albrecht, you're on the ground, and this broom kind of like it's got a mind of its own. It pivots around and tries to bring the bristles down on top of you. You're prone, which means you're flat-footed, so you get -2 to your AC. Unlike other, like the Pathfinder 2 or other things, there's not a lot of different modifiers that come up in combat. Flat-footed is kind of the catch-all for most things. Whoa, so this thing hits you square in the face. You take 4 points of damage, and I need a fortitude save from you, please.
Which one's hitting him, Kev? Not the one that's covered with grass, no?
The one that's covered in grass, yeah. It's just its speed is reduced, that's all.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, it's not...
Strange man is hitting me. Reflex, you said, yes?
Yes. Oh, no, fortitude.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
There it is.
Oh, oh no.
Well, you know.
Yeah. So that is not a crit failure, though. It's not by 10. But yeah, this thing hits you, and you're just covered in dust, so your next action is going to have to be spent coughing. Then it's going to try and bean Torgana. Let's see here. It's got -5 to this. Oh, it's agile, so it's -4 to this attack. Does a 10 hit you, Torgana?
AC. Oh, where is it?
Should be right in the center of the character sheet under the character tab.
Oh yeah, 14. I am.
Nice. Okay, so then it'll spend its last action trying to get you again, Torgana. It's -10 to this one, or -8 to this one. That misses as well. Okay. So this thing is swinging. It's there's a pile or cloud of dust behind where it beamed Albrecht. Albrecht, you can't see it, but you can feel the disapproving glare of your uncle from behind you too.
Oh, I can feel it. I know it's there.
Okay, and now Angus the Aviator. What are you doing?
So 15 feet, is that 15 feet like from the hands or from the feet, basically, while hanging?
What it means
basically,
is-
I'm wondering.
So here's an interesting thing. The way that they do falling damage in Pathfinder now is it's just half the amount that you fall. So
Ooh,
Okay, so that's not
7
great,
damage?
but
That's pretty good. I like
I
that.
could still totally survive that.
I think you can
Um,
acrobatics to make it softer. I think I read that briefly.
Can you not try and steer it, Angus? Like, can you not get over one of them fountains and drop into the pool or something?
Well, that's
like that?
I guess
Nope,
that's what I'm.
no acrobatics.
No acrobatics. Yeah, well, and I'm not good at acrobatics anyway, so I wasn't going to do that. But okay, so I guess that's the question: is am I going to try to ride this thing, or am I going to try to do something else and hop off? And it seems like it would be more fun to try to ride the broomstick.
I would agree.
Certainly
So-
more entertaining.
Yeah, more entertaining. So I'm gonna do my best impression of
Rodeo.
yeah, full on, like a pull up that turns into a horseman's mount.
Sure. Why don't
Yeah.
you give me, let's see here. So the first action, it sounds like you're trying to get yourself in position here. That to me sounds like an athletics check.
Yep.
That sound right? Okay. And I'm going to set the difficulty contested with your, with this thing's athletics. So go ahead and make your check. And the way that you set DCs in this is basically 10 plus whatever the bonus is that the adversary has. Nice. Okay, so yeah, you're up on the broom, Quidditch style.
Yeah.
So that is one action. You have 2 more actions. What do you want to do?
So I'm thinking it might be useful to in the chaos look over towards these mages and see how they reacted to a couple of their brooms getting burned up.
2 of them are pretty pissed off.
Yeah. No, but what I mean specifically, can I use Seek to see if are they summoning more brooms? Basically, I want to use an action to see if they're.
Oh, I see. Yeah, you don't get to roll for that. No, these are it's they're somehow controlling these things. It's not something that
Yeah.
they've summoned. And what you would know as well, just because you're a wizard, you're trained in Arcana. If they had cast it, it requires even though you can't cast a summoning spell, it's a 3-action summoning thing, and then they have to spend concentration to control these things. So unless they summon these off, like off screen as it were, and then walked in, yeah. Although it could be, I mean, I think. I'm not sure. Why don't you give me an Arcana check to see whether you know whether they've summoned them or whether they're a thing.
Sure.
This will be your Seek action. Or,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Not too bad.
Yeah. You think that these may be summoned actually.
All right. Okay.
One more action.
Well, then one more action. I'm going to can I do something like try to secure myself on the broom so that I don't get bucked off?
So if you had spent a ready action to try and do that would be 2. So ready
Yeah, that would be
actions
2.
in this game is
Yeah.
spend
Well,
2
so-
actions. Just for the sake of,
So not.
well,
Okay.
hold on, Arnold. Just for the sake of the people who haven't played before. There's a ready in action in this now. It's not, it spends, you basically bank 2 actions to do a reaction instead. So you just give up time from your phase. So sorry, go ahead, Arlen. What do you want to do?
Yeah. So I guess it's just grip the broom as tight as I can.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
Then Albrecht. So you're prone right now, covered in dust.
You said earlier I need to spend an action coughing.
You do, yes.
Not really.
So you have
Okay.
2 more actions left now.
All right. I suppose. So if it's currently pinning me, I'll need to try to.
It's not pinning. It just knocked you down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're otherwise free to, like, you can spend an action to get up, but you can also cast from the ground if you want.
Yeah. Point of order. I forget if we didn't. I should have asked this before we went live. But I had the 2 first level spells, and then cantrips, I'm a little bit unfamiliar. Are they similar
Cantrips,
to
just like in 5e, you can cast them as many times as you want.
and I just have access to the ones that you've listed in the spell book?
You have 5 of those.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Great. I am thinking I could try to because they're. So earlier you had said that these are. We understand the difference between a combative kind of, intelligent thing that is attacking us, or a object that is being controlled by something else.
This is for sure the latter.
Yeah. So I'm tempted to try to. I'm going to try Mage Hand.
Okay.
One of these things and try to shove it away. And.
Okay, let's take a look at Mage Hand. So I think, previous editions, Mage Hand's a pretty. It's like 5 pounds, so it really can't really exert a lot of pressure. But let's see here.
It says light bulk or less.
Yeah. Here's what I'll do is, you know what?
Okay, too, if not.
I'm gonna let you. No. What I'll do is I'll let you. This will be an attack using Arcana against it. I'm gonna effectively use the. It'll be a contested because there is a magical interaction with this thing as well too. And so why don't you give me an Arcana check here?
All right.
Let's see how this goes. Nat 1.
You
can spend a hero point to re-roll if you like.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
I'm getting tired of.
To give you guys a sense too,
not liking me today.
The game suggests that that the DM hand out a hero point every hour. So
that's
like,
what you want, man.
Nice. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So what were you trying to do? Trying to push this thing back, or?
Yeah, I guess, or just kind of shove it off to the side. Maybe actually, how far a distance? Because what I'd love to do, move it up to 20 feet.
I think 5 is probably the most you can hope for
5?
here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You didn't get a crit success, so.
Could I try to shove it into those bushes right beside me?
Yeah, absolutely. Like there?
Yeah, maybe try to get it tangled in there.
Sure. Yeah. So you push it over there, and I think that's it for your actions, right?
Yeah, I don't think that's it.
Okay.
I'm still prone.
Yes. So Valeria, what are you doing?
Valeria's really mad that somebody knocked out her animal familiar.
Yeah.
She just does a real unladylike snarl and then wades here for one movement action, just wades into the water, raises up a hand, and just her fury starts to coalesce in her fist.
So that's, hold on, let's just back up for a second here. That's difficult terrains for each of those. And remember, every second diagonal is 2.
So here.
Right?
Yeah, 1. I'm 1 too far.
Okay.
I think here would do it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm still in range. So yeah, her fury just focuses on her hand, and she just starts coaxing it into fire and just throws fire at that thing.
Nice. Okay, so let me just quickly point one thing out. So firing into melee generally there's no penalty to it whatsoever. The only thing that can happen is you can get lesser cover, which is +1 AC if you're firing, like if someone is interposing. So if you were targeting Juan Juliano's broom there, I'd probably give it lesser cover, but that one does not. So
gotcha.
Good call.
Yeah,
so go ahead. Yeah, make your it's produce flame. I take it you're
blast it.
Here we go.
Does that work?
Nice. Yeah. So what does it look like as this thing is smashed to flinders?
It just coats into a fire, and then she just throws it out and just spreads into like 6 different balls of fire, and just lances into it in just 6 different places, or 7 because it did 7 damage.
Nice. All right. So I think that's all of your actions too, right?
Yep.
Nice. Juan Juliano.
All right. So I think my electric arc isn't going to hit anything else. What do we got here?
Valeria throws a glare at the students to the south of them.
She tries to blow, sorry?
She throws a glare to the students to the south.
Nice. I'll give you a hero point for that. That's great. One hero point for sass.
Okay. Well, do I want to do that? I don't know. Is it even worth it? I'm going to do this. It doesn't matter. All right. So I'm going to run and scoop up Jacob into my hands.
Okay.
Juan is endearing himself to me.
I mentioned that not all targets have attacks of opportunity or have reactions.
Yeah. So
point,
these
guys.
don't.
The
Yeah.
broom does.
Oh shit!
So hold on. Broom is going to use its reaction.
Chivalry is not rewarded here.
But here's what happens. It's not a regular attack it does. It just sweeps your feet. So you start running along, and this thing spins underneath, and you're like, whoop! You don't take any damage, but you take one step, and you're knocked prone. So
Okay.
it's just a stride to get up.
So it's another action to get up.
It is, yeah, an action to stand from prone, and then you can spend one more to move over to where.
Well, can I? So that interrupted my previous phase's movement essentially.
It did, but you did spend the action though. That's how interrupts work.
So then I can pick. So then can I get up here, and then can I pick this? Can I pick up the bird?
No, that's an interactive object.
All right, well, I'll shield it with my body.
It's scrambling along. I love how undignified this has become for you.
So Valeria throws up an eyebrow, like endeared a little bit that he tried and that he didn't crush her bard.
Oh, that would have been great if he was right next to it.
I know, crap.
I'll save your bird. All right, Torgana, what are you doing?
Okay, Kev, so whereabouts is the crown?
The crown is currently, I think, right here. You know what? Let me put a little...
It was... Yeah, it's right there.
Here we go.
And we've got to get it where again?
Way down there.
There is the crown.
You got to get it to the fountain way down here.
We've got to get it to that fountain thing, that circle there.
Yeah, past those... what do you call it? Wormwing Conclave.
Yeah, I was planning on just sprinting down there once Jacob got it to me, but that didn't work out.
Okay.
But you served as a good example of, as is true in other editions, leaving familiars out in the open is not always a good plan.
And the lecturer guy, the man with the small man syndrome.
Yes, Eisenfaust.
Where is it? Is he still knocking around somewhere?
He's just standing back in. I think I accidentally deleted him. Let me just put him up there. So Eisenfaust is standing, glaring, kind of at the edge of right here. There he is. So he's kind of like at the edge of the courtyard here, or the square, or whatever.
Oh, okay, perfect. Okay. Not planning anything at all. Perfectly innocent question.
Here we go. Okay.
I don't know, man. I wouldn't mess with my uncle.
Oh man.
So
decisions.
What are you doing, Torgana?
So I've got a ride feat. I've got the feat ride.
Right.
And in the the notes here it says when you command an animal you're mounted on.
Yeah. So what it is normally in order to basically let your mount take actions, you need to spend an action commanding it, just like a minion or whatever else. What ride allows you to do is just move, your thing without having to make it spend time doing that.
And I'm guessing that that's not going to be so effective with a broom.
I mean, can you sell me on it? Why would it apply?
I imagine that it'd be a little bit 50-50, so I've probably got the skills and a little bit of the coordination and the dexterity of someone who's used to riding an animal at speed.
Yeah.
But obviously a broom is a magical thing and is not an animal. But I'm actually quite good with arcana and stuff like that.
Done. I'm sold. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I want to kind of grab the nearest broom.
Sure.
And mount up.
So give me an athletics check, please. So it'll be let's see here. First off, it'll be a move to get over there.
Yep.
Okay. So stride
yep.
rather.
Yep.
And then give me an athletics check to try and grapple this thing.
Okay.
See how you do.
Yeah, I'm not so great with that, but.
Hey!
16, yeah, it's reasonable.
That's good enough. Okay, so and again, you've kind of barely. grab. This is, the equivalent of trying to grab the reins of an out of control mare,
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Whoa, you manage to grab hold of that, and then your last action, I guess, is to mount it?
Yep.
Okay, so you're on this thing now. It's not under your control yet, but you're in the effectively the same position that Angus is in.
Yeah, man.
All right, and Keela, what are you doing?
I want to try to get Angus down to the ground with telekinetic projection. This is the spell. It's can I
Did you do like throwing
can I
stuff
push
at you?
him slowly to the ground? Also,
No.
not
Telekinetic projectile, what it does is it hurls out something at an incredible rate of speed that does damage. I mean, technically, you could use that to get Angus to the ground.
Yeah, I want to get a hold on the broom and then put that broom to the ground.
Well, yeah. So I mean, that's not the tool that would be able to let you do that. What that
Okay.
is something that lashes out and does damage. So you could destroy the broom, but then he's got a 15-foot drop to the ground. You could knock him out potentially.
Okay, so
that does lethal damage.
then I switch to another spell, the electric arc thing. I don't know how far the two targets can be away.
Oh,
So
okay. Let's see here.
there's only standing that you can select one or two target, and
It
the
says
range is
30
30
feet. Yeah, so I'm assuming it's 30 feet within the different things. So you could easily have it leap from one to another.
Okay, can I target a broom where someone sits on without harming the one that?
You can, but it's got Toragana is on one at ground level, so that one could be destroyed without problem.
Yeah. Okay, I will try that one and the other one, this one here, and okay. Yeah. I rolled
And
8
is it-
ability damage.
Yep.
They get a reflex saving throw each, and
So maybe
yeah.
while you're doing this, go into your spell description and click on the save, because then it'll populate automatically. You just have to have it clicked. But I think your save DC is a 17. Because it's let's see, your level's 1
okay.
plus 2 for being trained, plus your intelligence of 18 is plus 4. So yeah, okay. So
Yep.
let's see here.
Okay.
Failed save and made the save. Okay, so the question is whether it's the one that Toragana is on that made the save or not.
I'll give you $20, Kev,
If it's
the
yours,
other one that's I want to ride this goddamn broom, man.
Okay. This one
I
is
will
the first
have that one
one.
be the half damage.
That's the same.
Yeah, the other one gets hit with it. It's not destroyed though, so neither of them are destroyed. Although, like Toragana, it does hit, and I think that you're not sure whether it came from the broom or whether it came from someone else. All you know is lightning is suddenly coming out of this broom that you've got.
I think I might find that quite exhilarating.
Right,
Okay, now the brooms.
Oh.
Okay, so Angus, the broom that you are on is going to once again try and shake you loose here. You know what I'm going to allow you to do is, because you spent an action kind of gripping tighter, I'm going to give +1 to your what do you call it? Your DC. So what is your athletics bonus?
Athletics is 5.
5, so it'll be 16 DC for this thing. So it's going to move you around. It moves up another 5 feet. Does not shake you loose. You are holding fast. And then what it's going to do is
Getting worse and worse. Huh?
it
Man,
will
the
then
sound
move.
the sound of bagpipes ringing through the air.
Yeah.
So I'll go square by square so you can see where it's taking you. It goes right through that fountain. You're soaked, and then boom over here.
It's highly conductive now.
So you're being dragged along by this. It is.
Spray of water straight up the kilt.
Okay, and then
Too bad.
Toragana, what is your athletics bonus?
Oh, whoosh. I think it's 0. I think. Athletics, just a 0. But so under skills, I'm looking at the round circle. Yeah.
You
0.
are looking at, let's see here. Yes, the round circle. Athletics is 0. Okay.
Yeah.
I just remembered we're all wizards.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a brainiac, man. I'm super brainiac.
Okay.
I mean, you guys might be wizards.
So, Keela, this thing moves over and then brains you in the head. So you take 4 points of damage, Keela, and you have to spend. Oh, yeah, you got to give me a Fortitude save, please. Now the broom that you're on, Torgana, it's shaken itself loose of the entangling, the grass that had gripped it before, and then it is going to spend. Now you are 15 feet up as well.
Excellent.
Okay, and then Keela,
Quest.
I need a Fortitude save from you, please. Come on, make it. Oh, Bodo,
Yes.
I need a Fortitude save from Keela.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
I 13.
That's not-
Okay, I reroll it.
Oh no!
Oh no.
Wrong direction. So I think Keela, you hit this thing with electricity, and then suddenly it was like, whoa, right in your face. It hits you, and again, dust has gone around, so you're gonna have to spend one action coughing. That's all the brooms. Angus,
Do I get damage? Do I get damage? from it?
4 points of damage for Keela.
4 points. Okay.
Yep.
Sorry.
Angus the Aviator, what are you doing?
Okay, so I have this feat that says you can demoralize with no penalty when a creature doesn't understand your language. How do I demoralize? I'm
So
guessing
what-
I can't do that to the broom, but I might be able to do that to the wizards.
It is, good question. That is an intimidation, use of the intimidation skill. It's an action you can
Alright.
take with that. And let's see here. Demoralize with a sudden shout, a well-timed taunt, or cutting put down, you shake an enemy's resolve. Choose a creature within 30 feet of you. You make an intimidation check against the target's will DC.
Up there too far away. Okay, well,
Do you have staring glare at feet?
I don't think he does.
Okay, good.
I have intimidating glare.
Oh,
But
sorry.
that-
Yeah, glare.
Andrew?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you now, yeah.
That was weird.
Sorry, did
I
you...
had a question, and it was related to the. Did I hear you say that the broom that Torgana is riding rose up and tried
Yes.
to take him up?
Yeah.
Question.
Yeah.
Would that take the broom out, because the broom was 5 feet away
Yeah.
and technically hadn't enough melee with me in that sense? Would
Yeah.
would Elbrick get an attack of opportunity?
Well, remember in Pathfinder 2, nobody has attacks of opportunities, right?
okay.
It's only
Sure.
fighters have
Fighters,
attack of
yeah.
opportunity as a specific.
That's my
Class
5e
ability?
coming through. Sorry.
No, that's okay. And that's actually like it's worth reiterating too. Like that is one of the things that makes for a much more mobile, kind of fight. You can. Last night's we had a really good job of the two of the players were kiting one of the monsters to basically let it chew up its movement so that it wasn't just continually attacking.
Okay. Well then.
Okay,
Okay. Sorry.
Angus, what are you doing?
Okay, so I think this is robust enough that I can damage it without completely breaking it. So I'm just gonna essentially do my best to pull up with my hands and push down with my legs and kind of, damage the main stave of the
Okay.
thing.
What I'll let you do is just basically make a click on any of your melee. Oh no, it won't. Yeah, you can click on your athletics because it'll be the same score.
By a second,
Uh-huh.
but just give me a minute because my turn is coming up next.
Okay.
Okay. I don't want to.
Athletics.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
18. Right. Okay. So that hits, and then I think it's. I don't remember how much. I'm just gonna let you do your fist damage,
All right.
basically. So let's see here. What does a punch do? Fist is 1d4 bludgeoning. Hey, and it's agile, so 1d4 plus your strength bonus.
1d4 plus 2.
Nice. Okay, so you're putting your muscles into it, and you can see there's cracks riding up this thing. It's an object, so it probably has a hardness score, which will be subtracted just like a shield would. So
Yep.
yeah, you are affecting it a bit. That's only one action. You got two more.
So I think my next thing, because I got to stay on this high up, right, is
Yeah.
to set up for. So can I spend my 2 actions for a reaction to, like, rodeo style stay on when it starts to buck.
Yes, you absolutely can. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Then I'm going to do that.
Nice. Albrecht, 3 actions this time. No more coughing.
Okay, so if the broom and Toragana is now above me, presumably I'm physically free now.
Absolutely, yeah.
Still prone. So I'll take an action to stand up.
Okay.
And I'm wondering now maybe have an opportunity to correct more appropriately use Mage Hand. Looking behind me, if I'm going to try to use Mage Hand to move the crown.
Yep.
And fly it through the air, and I'm going to yell out, "Valeria, catch!" and try to throw the crown.
Yeah,
or
absolutely.
Bring it using Mage Hand.
Sure. Give me why don't you give me an Arcana check, please?
This went so well last time. I'm sure it's going to go just fine.
Nice.
Hey!
That is a crit success. So I'm open for a pitch. What do you think happens that does even better than you thought?
He kind of from prone, he kind of rolls into a standing, like a crouching standing position, reaches out, and that kind of ethereal purple hand manifests, clutches the crown like a claw,
Yeah.
and just whoosh, straight across the field.
Nice. Like
Hook it on
ultimate
the front of my broom, man. Hook it on the front of my broom.
I think ultimate frisbee style. This thing kind of like goes through the air, and Valeria, you're easily able to snatch it out of the air. It is now in your possession, and because of that,
over there,
because of that crit, everybody gets a hero point.
Yay.
Okay, so guys, we blew past our usual. Normally, what we do is about halfway through the session, we take a break. We're past that right now. My old man bladder is calling for attention, so let's just take a quick 5-minute break, guys. Grab refresh beverages and whatever else, and we'll be right back to continue with Valeria's turn next.
It's just quite fun. I can't believe we're all able to do this and still be wizards. I haven't seen your familiar make a show yet there, Juan. Brandon, doesn't your character have a familiar?
Yeah, I've got a cat. Which might be, if I'm trying to shield the bird, it might be.
They're intelligent.
Yeah, they are. Too big of a bird anyway.
All right. Oh my goodness.
I don't think cats don't take an interest in like hawks. I don't think I've ever seen that ever happening.
Haven't seen my cat.
Yeah. Like so it's usually like little small birds.
Mm.
I had an idea that she was Valeria was going to step out of the fountain and catch the crown with the tip of her staff, and then blast the other.
Sure.
room.
Yeah. I mean, she's next up, so you could. That's totally fine. Okay. Let's just wait for Andrew and Colin to get back.
Yep.
So, and once again, too, I have prepped so much more material than we're going to get through this session. I'm such a dummy.
This is fun.
Yeah.
Make
Well, I'm
another
glad, like,
session.
if you guys, I mean, if you guys are okay with it, like, I'd actually like to finish the proper adventure.
Oh, that's fine.
yes.
Over the course of a couple sessions, if you don't mind.
It's fun.
That's cool.
Yeah. I know I've saddled you with your pre-gens here, but this has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, definitely decisions I wouldn't have made, but I'm liking that they were made. So.
Nice. Oh, that's so good to hear. This is John. So I love you as a Pathfinder player because you know, like, you're willing to have your mind change with stuff. That's fantastic.
Yeah, no, I like it for what it is. It's pretty cool. I mean, 7 totally different characters with one class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's the thing too, and like we, especially when you get to see the way the backgrounds work and the way that the freedom of skill selection are two of the ways you can really make exactly the character you want to make.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
So yeah, Valeria isn't some kind of character I'd play very often. I mean, occasionally, but
Yeah.
as a GM, I could make an NPC like that. But as a player,
Yeah.
it's pretty cool though.
No, that's the thing I think is neat is about this particular edition is that, like, beyond just the skills or the spells or whatnot, like, you really can make very, very different characters.
Below that name button.
Yeah, I was looking at the rules for objects, and I was like, I can't affect any of these with my necromancy spells. That sucks.
Oh, and that's
okay.
Now, this is one thing I'll say as well, is that so the game also encourages you to to make loose use of the what do you call it, of your skills as well too.
Mm-hmm.
So like no one so far has thought to try. We've got people who are muscling this the things to under their control, but there may be other ways to secure control of these things.
Yeah, that's my plan, Kev.
Yeah. Nice. I'm so glad you like Glantri too, Colin. I should have known, but yeah.
I never really got to play there, but I got the book and read it, and
Yeah.
I never played there either, but yeah.
In the day, all them books were like in the front of our minds as the next place where we're going to run.
Yeah.
Well,
and the known world has so many it's this weird thing where, like, if you're trying to be too serious about it, it's like, oh, this makes no, like, why are there Vikings right next to whatever? But then
the Immortals did it. That's what you say.
Well, and also
the Immortals changed the cultures to be like where they're from. And they just keep it there, and that's just how it is. Like,
well, and I think a simpler, like, seeing it now at where my relationship with gaming settings now. Who cares? It means I get to have fucking Arabian adventures next to Vikings, next to Romans, next to, pirates. Like, that's awesome. Why do I care whether it makes sense or not? Like, what game are you playing?
Nice.
This is my DM, like, my logbook thing.
Oh man, look at that.
And that is the, like, known world with all the different gazetteers with a quick note of each.
Oh, that's awesome.
So my plan was to go into the Sea of Dread, and so I got like that's the Isle of Dread.
Yeah.
There's random tables and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's all like this. See, this all like
holy
like
shit, that's so cool.
With all these weird
bits
that fall off and.
The only part where that does kind of bug me is how the Ethinger Arcanates is like not connected to anything. It's like a sea of step, and it's like, how are these guys supposed to make a giant empire?
Yeah,
like, because it doesn't. That's the only thing that kind of bugs me about it. But other than that, like, I can get over all the other things.
What do you call it? Spirit rules from that were amazing, though. From that,
I was reading them the other day. I was just kind of curious how it would play.
Yeah,
but
really, they're really cool. Like, you can make with the bad magic points and whatnot. They really leaned into that with that. The things from the Alfheim
Okay.
Gazetteer. So, okay.
Oh, that's my favourite one, man.
Alfheim?
Yeah, I took that and I just dropped it straight into the Sword Coast in Neverwinter Wood.
Nice.
So Neverwinter Wood just became Alfheim.
Yeah.
Boom.
For old school gamers, like those supplements were absolutely gold standards for how much amazing content there was in every single one of them. The only one that was a little subpar was Minor Thad. Minor Thad Guilds was okay, but there was nothing that really jumped out as being like, this is so awesome.
Kingdom
Yes.
of Eorendi
Oh,
is the other one that a lot of people don't like. But
Which one, sorry?
Kingdom of Eorendi, the one where it's like the resort town place. It's like a resort for adventurers.
It's effectively
but,
like fantasy Hawaii.
Yeah, I kind of liked it. It's like, it's got like, Hawaii 5-0 is like references in there with like Magnum PI. And like, God,
Okay, so Valeria, getting back in here, guys. So for those the younger gamers, like, fucking stop talking about this shit.
Bastards.
All right, so Valeria, what are you doing?
Okay, so she's gonna, in this difficult terrain, just step over like 10 feet, and she's gonna lift her staff up so she catches the crown in it. It kind of swirls down and gets in her fist.
Yeah.
And she's just gonna snarl, like, get a Ganata Albrecht and just lance another bit of fire at the broom.
Nice.
That's attacking Kilia.
Okay.
And just for my knowledge, can you use hero points to reroll attack rolls?
Yes, absolutely.
Good.
Hero points can be used. There's two things you can use them for: reroll attack rolls, and if you're reduced to 0 hit points, you can spend all of your hero points to not gain the dying condition.
Let's save that one last one for that.
Yeah. Someone asked if you can dual wield shields. In this game, I think. I mean, you could, but you only have one reaction per turn, so it'd be very
And it would
limited
be
utility.
super boring. It would be super boring. No offense.
So there's a 15 hit?
Let's see here. 15. Oh, it's gonna
Nope.
just
That's
miss.
why I asked.
Hero
That's why I
points?
asked. Yeah, so I picture that the fires just like dart at it and just miss.
Yeah.
And then she just exerts her will and forces them back.
Love it. So go ahead and click your. Nice. That is a hit. Okay. So the one you're attacking the one that is next to Keela.
Yep. I think it took damage before, didn't it?
It did. It is blasted to flinders.
Yeah, like the fire around it dodges and just back to it, catches it on fire.
You know, what I did in the other games too, I can set up the bars so you can see the bars but not the numbers in them to help you guys get a sense of what the, like how damage is actually being applied to these things. I should have done that.
That'd be pretty cool.
My apologies. But next up, okay, that is all of Valeria's actions. She has the crown in her hand now, or technically around the staff now. Now it is Juan Juliano.
Juan Juliano.
She does not want to lose it easily, so.
Yeah. Well, he's gonna scoop up the bird. I guess is that an action?
So, interact with object. The bird.
He does not have any medicine skill, so he can't do anything with that.
I'll kill you last. You're good.
Well, I think. Hold on. What about nature? Are you trained in nature at all?
I can use nature as heal because I'm cool.
Yeah.
I will run the bird. Let's see how I get. So is every action 10 feet or how much is it?
No. Remember every action you could take a stride action to move your full move.
So you could triple your move if you wanted to.
Full move.
So you could exactly. You could move triple your move. That's how running works in this. Is just you running pell-mell.
Okay. All right, so I could do one.
Yeah.
Let's see. 2, 1, 2, 3. So so I can get the bird to Valeria.
You can absolutely.
Okay.
And are you just gonna hand it to her? Is that?
Man, you're such a cruel ass, man. What's up?
And I'm gonna hand it to her very gingerly.
Oh. Madame, your bird. Senorita, your bird. Eh?
Okay. Then we got Toragana. You're up again. So Toragana is also an aviator right now. What are you doing? That's you, Colin.
Oh, sorry. I was just picturing this like Spanish Eskimo. I'm getting like bleed.
Oh, that's right, because I changed my picture.
I'm getting bleed from the other game. Yeah, so I'm gonna try. So I've got this broom.
Yep.
And I want to try and can I kind of like try and tune into the vibes.
Sure. Yeah. Why don't you give me an Arcana check, please? So this is going to be a staged kind of thing. Like you're going to have to net a certain number of successes in order to get control over this thing.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Okay.
Oh crap! I'm not happy with that. That's BS.
Okay.
That never happened.
Okay.
Hero point. Hero point.
Boom. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so you've sort of like tapped into the magical matrix, I guess, that's controlling this thing, and you're starting to worm your way in there. That is one action. Do you want to spend another?
Yeah. Well, can I just further that?
Yes, you can. Absolutely.
Okay.
Let's try
All your
here.
brooms are mine.
Whoa!
That's a critical success, isn't
That
it?
is a critical success on this one. So you've now seized control of this. This thing has a move of 30 when you do not have it. So you still have one more action. Would you like to use your ride feat to...
Holding up the crown.
Yes.
Oh, yeah!
And yes. Yeah. It's bring it on. I am
Red
like
Matt Needle.
boom, and I'm like full throttle.
Yeah.
And we're going full loop the loop. Whoa! And we're
Awesome. Okay.
And I want to kind of pull up into the sky, loop round, swing by Valeria. Crown. Go for the crown.
You can see on the other side, like where the Wyvern Wing Conclave students are, one of them is like concentrating and kind of like...
Override.
Yes. All right. Keela, what are you doing?
I want to spend all 3 move actions to get closer to this fountain where we have to put it.
Absolutely. So each second diagonal square costs 2. Otherwise, you can move 6 square. Or sorry, you can move 5 squares per action. So you can move.
I have 30 feet, so I can move 6.
Oh, you're 30. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's right.
One, quick feet.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for the first.
Nice.
Oh, there's the wide receiver.
Yeah, about to invent the forward pass.
6.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Nice.
Okay.
They're shocked. Like I think you completely surprised them with just running past. They're kind of like, oh. Okay.
Nice.
Now, that is it for that. Now it is the broom's turn. So the only broom that is still under control is the one where Angus has got his hands 20 feet in the air. So Angus, here we go. First check. Angus, I am so sorry. But I rolled a 2!
Yay!
See, it's bucking around and you're just holding on. It tries a second time.
Yeehaw, Rodham Cowboy.
That is not good enough either because of the -5. Because an escape action is an attack, so it progressively gets harder to do. It will spend the last action. You're now 30 feet in the air. Now, one thing I want to point out. So, John, what you might have been thinking of before is there's a reaction called grab ledge. And that's what it is. If you're bucked off, you do get a reaction trying like, wow, the last second thing
That's
to try and knock. Yeah. Okay. So then, speaking of Angus the Aviator, what are you doing?
It's not like it's right. Like with the machine, it would be leaking fluid or something from the damage and have to come down. But this is not like that.
Oh no! So this thing, I mean, like what we would see in the fiction of this is like this thing is cracked and it's burned, and there's still like tips of the straw that's like still burning as if it was in a fire. It's pretty messed up.
It's pretty beat up, but what I'm thinking is like it's not like a plane where it's leaking fuel, so they're gonna have to put it down. It's So, and I'm pretty pissed off at this point. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna hope that we don't have a combat after this, because I'm gonna take a lot of damage after I cast magic weapon on my fists. And then do my best to smash it.
Okay, so
You
you'll
are
have go ahead and
lucky
make
I
this,
brought potions.
make the athletics check, and just give a +1 to hit.
23 to smash it.
Okay, so it'll be 2d4 plus 1, or plus 2 damage. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, what does it look like as this thing is smashed and you fall?
Well, I think we see it. So Angus he sort of slides backwards on it and gets it into almost like a pull-up position, and then just sort of twists it, and it splinters in his hands. And that's when he realizes, of course, that he's 30 feet up, and
And you see the kilt just kind of billows out and around as he falls.
and takes
Wily
points of
Coyote.
damage, which leaves him at 1.
Yep. Wham! So you hit the ground hard and you are prone now, but that broom is gone. Oh
And
man.
there's like a big Angus shape in the floor, in the ground.
Okay. Albrecht, so you just saw Angus slam to the ground. You've seen where you tossed it. You guys are now acting like a team. What do you want to do?
Very out of character for Albrecht, yes. Okay.
Unless he's commanding. He did start those actions.
This is, well, I mean, this. Yes, in fact, of course, yes, the team's finally up to my grand design. Everybody fine.
I'll allow him to think he's in charge.
Yes, in fact, as he's like, he just kind of like just tosses a quick glance to Eisenfaust, secretly desperately needing his approval. I'm gonna move over to Angus.
Okay.
Think I can get there in one go.
Yep, one stride will get you there.
And I have, I think Valeria is the only one with any genuine healing, but I do have a feat, battle medicine.
Yes. So
And
what?
I can attempt to use that here.
Absolutely. So let's quickly talk about what. So what you're, I think, trying to do is to treat a wound, right?
Yes.
So there are no, for those of you guys who are playing for the first time, there's no like, hit dice or like short rests or stuff like that in the game. Instead, what you have is during the exploration mode, you can spend 10 minutes to try and like treat wounds. So it's a DC 15 check when you're at the train level. If you succeed, you heal 2d8 points of damage. You also, there's a condition that you get when you're dying called wounded. It also gets rid of that thing. And if we get to you guys to one of you dying, we'll deal with that thing. But all right, so Andrew, go ahead and give me a medicine check, please.
Okay.
How you do?
Medicine.
So all the healing is dealt with using abilities.
Hero.
Medicine. You need to roll medicine ability, and if you do battle medic, you are immune for 1 day to medicine.
No,
skills.
just to that one. You can still get the regular treat wounds. Treat wounds only makes you're only immune to it for 1 hour. In
There are
the
actual
exploration
healing
mode.
spells too.
Yeah, healing spells and healing potions and whatever. Okay, so Andrew, do you want to spend a hero point to re-roll that?
I might as well try. Yeah, he's got one.
Here we go.
Let's try this again.
Big money.
That's who takes the
God!
damage.
You kill him now.
The thing is, there is an effect. You actually do damage to him.
58.
Yeah, of course I would.
Oh
yeah.
my god. Okay, hold on.
Jesus.
So, I mean, you've only got 1 hit point left, so...
So yeah, I'm gonna spend my 2 hero points to avoid dying.
Okay. So what do we see, Andrew, what do we see as Albrecht goes over to try and help this guy?
Well, you're not dying yet. You still got like dying 4 to get to, right?
I mean, yeah, technically. I don't even know. He gets over there fully confident that he's gonna do this. And I guess he pulled out a scalpel instead of his salve. I don't know.
Maybe like as you're kneeling down to try and apply battle medicine, maybe like you slip a bit and you knee him in the head.
Or knee him right in the wound. too. You know, like just
Yes.
Yeah.
Everywhere doesn't fall.
Angus, from your
And-
perspective, you hit the ground and you're like,
Charlie?
so you hit the ground, Angus. You're just like, oh god, boom, and then something knocks you out.
Jesus. Oh man, with friends like that, who needs enemies?
Okay, Valeria. So you have passed off the crown now. What do you want to do?
She noticed what Albrecht does, and she just rolls her eyes in her head and just looks up and just no.
Okay, so free action of casting shade.
She's gonna spend 2 actions just walking down here, and then she's like, "Let me do this. This won't kill him."
Okay.
And,
Boom, a crochet.
use an interact to use an elixir of life on Angus.
Sure. So go ahead. What is it? 1d6.
Yeah, it's a D6.
Yeah. So Angus, give me a 1d6 roll. Let's see how much you get back.
Oh,
Don't forget your bird.
yeah.
3.
You owe me 3 gold.
Sweet gold.
Okay.
So my enhanced fists, I think, are still up. So if I
Yep.
punch Albrecht back,
You want to hear something funny? So technically, rules as written, you now move to being immediately before, I think. So like you
Yeah.
would have moved before Albrecht anyway. So you will act before him. All right. So Juan Juliano, you're up next. What are you doing?
All right, so now that everything's in order, all's right. All the bird is with his
Yeah, it's
lady.
in order.
Everything's right in the world.
Yeah.
Somebody's not dying from bad medicine. I'm not to. I would never acknowledge it, but I'm going to follow Keela's lead and try to run down here.
Okay.
So that would be all right. I think I did this earlier, so. All right, so that straight down, that'd be 60 to here, I think. So
Okay. Colin, you have control over that broom now, both
Okay.
in fiction and on the table.
all right,
Okay,
then I need
cool.
to figure out if I can do. I assume these guys are not just going to let me run past them. So
So if they are students like you, just thinking like metagaming here, they are likely wizards, and wizards do not have attacks of opportunity.
okay, good.
And I already did it, so
But I can't run through. But I can't run through their.
No, you
space,
cannot.
can I?
You cannot run
Okay,
through. You
okay.
have to make it. You can
Yeah.
do it with an acrobatics check for tumbling. I think that's an untrained thing you can do as well too. But...
Oh, I think I might actually.
Oh yeah, you're trained in acrobatics, aren't you?
I think I am actually. Yeah, I am. Maybe I will just do that.
Yeah, sure. Let's see here. The
Yeah.
Just see him, kicking off the tree bark the trunk right next to him, and just.
That's right. Yeah.
yeah, it's
Yeah, man. Brandon's running interference there.
Nice. So go ahead and give me an acrobatics check, please. It's against the reflex DC, so it'll be 10 plus whatever the reflex bonus is.
Oh.
We're gonna spend-
I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna use a hero point on that one.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Ooh. So you're trying to get past them, and they're like, and they're saying to you, "Where do you think you're going, elf?" And they're sort of jostling and pushing you back, so you're not able to get through them.
I don't like that elf. That
Oof.
Not at all.
that had connotations. That had connotations, man.
Toragana, what are you doing?
Okay, so a quick technical question for the sake of clarity.
Of course.
If I had been in possession of this broom and readied an action whilst Angus was in his flight,
Yep.
if I'd have said, if he takes a tumble, I'm going to sweep in and scoop
Yeah.
him up.
So that would have cost you 2. You would basically spend 2 actions to ready a 1 action thing. So if on your turn you said I'm going to do that, you would have had 1 action, and then 2 of them would have been banked for a reaction that would allow you to interrupt someone else's action.
All right, cool. Okay, right.
Okay.
But that didn't happen.
Yeah. Next time. Angus
So,
the cautionary tale.
Oh.
Okay, so we've got Brandon there. He's kind of engaged them on the flank. I feel that I need to. So how fast does this?
You can move. So just move both of them together. You can move 6 squares with each action.
Ooh. I'm going to cane it down the field.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to go like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is 1.
Okay. I'll move the broom behind you. Whoosh.
Yeah, cool. I'll move this stuff out of my way. All right. And now It's dangerous. I think I need to. So how does diagonals work, Kev?
Every second one costs 2.
Okay, so that's 1. Then that would be...
And you're ignoring difficult terrain. You're able to fly through. I'm assuming you're a little above the trees.
Yeah. So that was 1. That's 3.
Yeah, it'd be 1, 2, 3. Yep. And 3 more.
6.
Yep.
So that's 2 actions.
2 actions. You got 1 more. Oh, and I think Bodo might be doing something to take advantage of the ready action.
Okay.
I'm trying.
Okay. Where's Bodo? Let me just get him on the. Oh, okay. Oh, what's happening? Okay, he's there. Right. I think I need to go a little bit wide. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Nice.
So I think I'm there. So I'm just like, boom, full throttle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we still see this as the Ethengar warrior too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've got an hour of that. You don't know that, but that's what we got.
Nice. Okay, so Keela, your turn. What are you doing?
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
That's-
Is this a position where I can?
Yep, close enough.
Okay. Then I do a ready action to, put a hand in the air and.
Nice.
Oh, I know.
Well, that's awesome.
Crown on head.
Okay, you get a hero
I
point for that.
make
That is some
touchdown
fucking
and,
good teamwork.
everything.
So yeah, Keela, you're up to 3 hero points now. All right, so then it is the students' turn because all the brooms have been lost control. So let's see here. Now it seems that these guys are a little. Oh, they're a little angry with you.
Uh-oh.
So one of them, likely the one that looks just like the
The punchable face.
yes, with the incredibly punchable face. Okay, he turns up and sees you making a run for it, Toragana.
Yep.
And with using 2 actions, he kind of like gestures to the side, and these arcane runes start appearing, and then he
Magic.
casts towards you. No,
No.
sleep.
Oh no.
Now, sleep in this, it is just like a lot of the spells in this, guys, they have like stage thing, depending on whether you get a failure, success, crit failure. So what I need from you is, this is a will save, Torgana.
Okay. Will I do it?
Make it good.
So I just hit that.
Yeah, hit will save.
Oh.
Yes!
Booyaka!
Okay, so this is not, what you do is
warrior.
you take a -1 status penalty to perception for 1 round. Other than that, there's no other. You feel kind of drowsy, and you can tell that someone tried to, ensorcel you with their magic. But seeing that
I'd just give him the bad look, man. I'd be like, watching you.
Yeah, he curses in, in German, to be honest. It'll be Albanese. Scheiße! And I think that's it. He's the only one who's really going to try and like break the rules of the test. But we're back with Angus now. So Angus, you've woken up.
Boy.
All right.
This has been a really traumatic couple of moments here.
Stand up
Yeah,
for
man.
prone.
Okay.
I've still got. I'm picturing it as kind of like Celtic swirls and stuff glowing in blue on my hands, and the faint sound of bagpipes carrying in over the hill.
The Braveheart sound.
Yeah.
For
So
that, man.
I'm not actually going to punch Albrecht, but I am going to intimidate him,
Nice. To demoralize. Okay.
to demoralize.
Okay. So, Albrecht? What is your will bonus?
Let me see. 5.
5. Okay. So the DC is 15. Then
All right.
go ahead and
That's
click on.
That's not so good. I'm going to reroll that with a hero point.
Nice.
Oh no, I don't have any hero points. I couldn't. I cheated.
Oh yeah. Okay, so he gets up, and what is the like not intimidating look that Angus gives towards Albrecht?
Well, you can see Angus. He tries to like do a sort of a feint, like he's gonna punch him and pull it, and ends up basically like he's gotten his ass kicked. He basically twists himself and maybe like twists an ankle or something, and he's kind of crouched on the ground like, oh Jesus, it's worse than I realized.
Would this be a bad time to point out that Albrecht is a rather haughty individual and in fact may have haughty obstinacy?
Yes.
Yeah,
that's right, because his DC would be higher then, right?
Larry's just like looking at both of them. What the hell?
Yeah, if a creature rolls a failure on a check to coerce me using intimidation, it in fact counts as a critical failure instead.
So good.
So it can't try to coerce me again for another week.
Awesome. Yeah, so you have blown any standing that you may have had with Albrecht.
Yep.
Be away, peasant.
So speaking of Albrecht, we now turn to Albrecht. What's he going to do?
Oh, geez. I think he's going to look down at. Is it literally in this case? Look down, Angus. You're up on your feet now, right?
I think I'm imagining myself kind of like crouched and stumbling almost, because I was picturing it in the fiction as that what was not intimidating was the fact that Angus got hurt a lot worse by the fall than he realized, and something kind of twinged and he basically cramps up and falls over pretty much. So I think it's literally look down at Angus.
Fair. I think he will look down and give a rather kind of dismissive glance. Now, Kevin, you might count this as interact object or not. That's up to you, and I'll take it. He reaches into a pocket and kind of like, here's a handkerchief, and like drops it on you as he walks away.
That's worth a hero point for sure.
Seriously? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and so with that, I'm gonna try to join the others down below.
Okay.
I guess I'll just use if I have all three yet, I'm gonna use my all three actions to stride.
Sure.
To get closer to the rest of the group.
Definitely. Go ahead. See,
5, so it'll be 75.
Yep. So it's 15 squares, basically.
Okay.
Okay.
So 1, 2, 3.
And then, so I'll let you move yourself down there. And then we're up to Valeria. What is Valeria doing?
Well, despite her dark and snooty appearance, she's actually good at heart. So she sees the wounded and struggling Angus is like, all right, you hold still. I won't crush your spine like Albrecht did, but I may make you better.
What are you
I'm
going
going to use my natural medicine and call on the powers of the ambient energies.
Okay, now do you have battle medicine as a feat?
I have natural medicine.
No, okay, so what natural medicine allows you to do is to, on the exploration mode, normally you can only treat wounds on exploration mode. What battle medicine feat does is it allows you to actually do that during combat. Otherwise, you can't use treat wounds during combat.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, like you stay here, and we'll give you some moral support.
Nice. As like a good, elementary school coaches
on the shoulder.
Yeah, like good elementary school coaches everywhere. You give him a firm attaboy, and then get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, and then so she'll do that with one stride action, then stride.
Okay.
And then for her final, she's gonna walk right up in this guy's face. I'm assuming he's the one that casts sleep.
Yeah.
And just glare at him. Just
nice. Yeah. Okay. Excellent. Juan Juliano, what are you doing?
Bird.
Yeah, I think I am going to. Well, I don't. You know what? He's just going to revise this whole idea. He's just going to walk around these guys. That's enough. So 1. So that's 15.
Okay.
20, 25, 30. I guess I'll do. I don't know. He'll just.
Ready in action to do something.
Yeah, I was gonna. I'll ready. Who has the crown right now?
Toragana.
Oh, Toragana has it. Okay. Oh, okay.
And Keela has her arm up ready to receive it as well, too.
Okay, I'm gonna get down there and also have my arm up to receive it.
Elf versus elf.
Well, the thing is, okay, so you know what? You're going to start doing that, but because you don't have 2 actions left, you actually can't ready an action. So when it goes to Torgana's turn, you're sort of starting to get up there, and
Yeah.
Keela making it, boom.
Better.
Interception.
Better.
Yeah.
I mean, we were acting like a team, but we're all in fact Ravenclaw.
Yeah. Okay, so Torgana, speaking of which, what are you doing? Keela's got her hand up, ready to go.
Yeah, I'm just wondering. I mean, I've got no knowledge of the fact that Keela has got that projectile thingy.
You do not know because you guys all just met each other.
Yeah. I'm just kind of checking what my throwing type. Yeah, so I got reasonable dexterity. Okay.
Athletics check, I think.
Oh, okay.
Can't you just
Ooh.
fly by and give it to me?
Yeah, I'm just thinking that might be. I'm no quarterback.
You can just fly over and drop it and kill
Yeah,
it.
I might have to make a running play here. So I've got 3 actions.
Yep.
I think I'm on for the end zone, boys.
Nice. So
Let's do it herself.
just
So
to
there's
clarify too, so guys, interact with object takes an action. Dropping an action or dropping an object is a free action.
All right. So that means I've got 3 clean move actions. So that is a 1. That is 3.
Mm-hmm.
That is 4. Ooh, baby. That is 5. That is 6.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's 1. Ah, yeah, man. We are approaching the
End zone.
end zone there, man. Get your victory dances ready, guys. I want to see some good stuff. How are we going? A 1, a 3. Ah, yeah. Booyaka!
And are
We
you
are
putting on,
over the.
are you putting
we
on
are
yourself
over
or are you handing it to Keela?
I mean, I could just swoop straight down and drop it and make sure it gets there. We don't want to fumble in the end zone, man.
Keela's already prepped an action to grab it if it does. So
Yeah. So yeah, cool. Well, I'm gonna try and run it straight in there, and they're there. If it goes awry, they can sweep in. But I'm just boom dropping it in.
Okay.
Boom.
Pling. So you plink it down, and it's on there. And you guys have all. You can picture you're all at different points in on the sort of the battlefield, I guess. But in this park, you all are kind of keeping an eye on it. You see the ring, the iron circlet, kind of like we rolls around on the head, and then it settles in perfectly. What do you guys do?
Boom! Victory loop. I just up. Woo! Showboating.
Awesome.
I'd like to remind you that's a summon thing, and you might want to get off of it as soon as possible.
Yes. I don't care about
Okay, so we will drop into exploration mode here, guys. So Valeria, you're staring in the face of this guy who seems to be the leader of this conclave, who's just, or for Wyvernwing Conclave, who is staring down at you, and you're staring up at him. Are you trying to intimidate this guy?
Yes.
Is that what you're doing? To demoralize?
Yes,
Give me an
coerce.
Yeah. Now.
Or either one.
I'm going to give you a +1 to the circumstance because you guys just kicked their asses. Give me, and you destroyed all their brooms or stole them. Give me a intimidate check, please.
Come on.
Nice.
Don't need to hero point it then. All right.
No. So he looks down at you, and there's a he breaks before you do, and it's like, come on, guys, and like jerk bullies everywhere. He leads, goes storming away, and you hear from the other end of, Professor Eisenfaust comes striding towards you guys, and let's see here, where is he? There we go, Heinrich Eisenfaust. So he comes striding down. He walks up to the statue, and he gestures, and makes this kind of magical gesture, and this invisible mage hand kind of lifts the crown, brings it over to him. He retrieves it, and he looks at you all, and he says, "The conclave has been set. Classes start tomorrow." And he turns and storms off, leaving you guys behind. So we cut the scene now to you guys all in your chambers. And the chambers are kind of like, picture like a kind of a common room that has like little rooms leading off of it. So I'm picturing it being like an enormous tower. So like, it's not like a square, it's a circular kind of common room. And then there's stairs leading up to the different rooms. So some of you guys will be like a little higher than others, some will be lower, but this is where you guys are all now celebrating. So we'll pick up the scene in there, and you guys are now going to have to decide, as is tradition, you need to pick the, what do you call it? The name for your conclave. So we have one suggestion here. As Broom Busters, the upper conclave from you guys is Wyvern Wing. What do you guys think here? What is your name of your conclave?
I suggest Valeria and Co.
Strangely, that gets no votes, it appears. So...
Jacob's voting. He votes yes.
You know, when you said like that the broom busted into flinders, I actually had to look up that word because I thought you might have made that up.
No.
and I kind of like that word. As a conclave, flinders.
Flinders.
Yeah,
I quite like Flinders.
Yeah, me too.
If I don't use that word very often in my vocabulary, but isn't it like a whole bunch of just splinters?
Yeah.
Yeah. Small fragments or splinters.
Yeah.
Splinters is okay. Also.
Flinders.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think? We have why don't you, if you have any suggestions, maybe put it in chat, and then we'll see. And Juan Juliano. Flinders. Okay, we got 2 votes for Flinders. Wyvern Busters.
Oh yeah.
Forever they go down for losing.
Okay.
I think it's Flinders.
Flinders Conclave. Okay, so there we are. So then...
okay, yeah, Flinders is good, yeah.
So there is... this is where, Juan Juliano, you know of another tradition. So one of the things... when you were up close with the other... with the Wyvern Watch Conclave, you noticed that they had, stitched onto their robes, they had a little, like, gold outline of a, like a cow or a bull of some kind. And that reminded you of something. Now, as is often the case in many schools, it has a lot of traditions. One of the traditions for this one is a tradition of pranks. And the prank that every conclave typically gets involved in, there is a tavern in town called the Hacienda. And in the Hacienda is run by a Belcadese elf who is very, very old, like said to have come when the Glantri city was actually built. He has been here for a very, very long time. And within it, the Belcadese, within the Hacienda, there is a bull's head that is mounted on the wall that that is known to anybody who is familiar with the Hacienda at all as the Rojo Negro, the Black King. And the Black King is so called because before it was defeated, as is the case in, you guys were no doubt familiar with this, bullfighting is a very big thing in Belcadese, in the Principality of Belcadese. And the Rojo Negro actually has the blood of 5 Belcadese elves on its horn. It was the bane of 5 different matadors until it was finally felled, apparently by the owner of the Hacienda. Now, what the stitching on the markings is that the night before classes, if the conclave is successful in stealing the Rojo Negro from there and delivering it to the upper year conclave, they have achieved a goal and they can stitch the Rojo Negro on their robes as well. But if you fail, it is seen as a sign of incompetence. And that it's something that it's the painting the rock kind of thing. It's the painting your name on the bridge, the class of whatever. This is the thing that it is by no means recognized and accepted by the school, but it's what every conclave tries to do to put it over on the others.
Do we care about what the Wyverns think? Aren't they the upperclassmen?
They are the upperclassmen.
I mean, they
Hmm.
Yeah.
It's not only showing.
One cares.
Yeah, it's not only showing for them. You know that the Wyvern Wing Conclave, they did succeed in this task.
Yeah, we got
So-
to show them. We got to show them up.
I've got to point out. At this point, when I roll up in the common room,
Yep.
I'm just gonna be like peeking round the door
Oh yeah, right.
with like a big grin on my face, and you see this like, pleasant enough looking Effengarian girl with long dark hair with a big like beaming grin, and she kind of like pokes her head round the door and hello.
So you guys all look, and I think Valeria is the only one who made, because she's the one who heard the voice and was like, oh.
I think Killia made it too, right?
Oh yeah, Killy did as well. That's right. Yeah.
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 The
So
girls can pick out the girls very easily.
okay, so the Flinders Conclave then, will you try and succeed? Will you try and do what every class tries to do and capture the Rojo Negro?
Yeah, I'm not done showing the Wyverns up. Let's do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's do this. Yeah, I like this idea.
Excellent. So then, guys, that's where we will end the session. You guys each earn 210 XP for this. And the way XP works in PF2 is once you've got 1,000, you gain a level and you subtract 1,000 and you keep on going. So, and the way that I broke that down is each of the you got XP for each of the brooms, and you also got 30 XP for achieving the task. So congratulations all. So, where Andrew, I think you were away for the break too, but we're actually going to carry this on in 2 weeks. So if you want to join us back again, you are more than welcome. And until next time, let's see. So we can chat about that when we get off the stream. But yeah, so there we are, guys. Congratulations, you are now officially students at the Great School of Magic in Glantri City. So do you have something to add there, Arlen?
Well, I was thinking it seems perhaps more appropriate, especially since there's this stone wall thing there, that maybe it wasn't like a sprained ankle that Angus has. I think he kind of pulls up his kilt and you can see that he's got he's got a couple of ribs cracked or something on his side.
Shall I make some heal check while we're in downtime or something?
And then he lets that arm down and kind of pulls it across him and holds it in place, and he says, but with my left, we'll get the bull.
Yeah. Valeria, why don't we do this? Because this is actually, I didn't realize this, but that is one of the reasons where, like, Treat Wounds is really fucking well balanced for low-level play, because, like, that 2d8 hit points is not a huge amount when you start getting a bigger hit point pool, but at low levels, it basically means you can just treat wounds and then be back up and ready to go back in.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's cool.
I rolled the wrong one, but they're the same number.
Sure.
I'm going to use hero points until I get them healthy.
Absolutely, yeah. So we're going to
There we
assume
go.
that at the start of next session, you guys will all be healthy, and then we'll see what happens when you venture out into the evening, because there is a festival going on in Glantri City as well, too. So
I didn't want to waste my hero points, so I know they disappear at the end of the session. Like, now.
Nice. All right. So for those listening at home who joined us joined us live, and those who joined us later, thank you so much for watching. As always, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the session, please don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section below, and I will endeavor to respond in a timely fashion. Alternatively, you can reach me on Twitter at Dungeon Musings. Or you can shoot me an email. My email address is dungeonmusings@gmail.com. You can also find me on the Dungeon Musings podcast, which is available on Anchor and Stitcher and Apple Podcasts and all your favorite podcast platforms. You can also find Colin at the Spike Pit podcast, and you can find Arlen at the Live from Pelham's Wasteland podcast as well. In addition, so if you enjoyed the session and you want to make sure to not miss the next one, be sure to click on subscribe and the bell icon so you can join us live. And finally, you can see in the description of the video, there is a link to something called Heroes Save Villages. This is the charity fundraising campaign that we run on the channel. We don't monetize the channel in any way. We don't run any ads. We don't run a Patreon. If you are inclined to toss some ducats our way, in keeping with the Glantrian setting, I'd ask you consider clicking through and learning a bit about the Heroes Save Villages campaign. It benefits the SOS Children's Villages International Charity, which is a really terrific charity that benefits orphan and abandoned children in over 130 countries. There's over 80,000 kids who benefit from the stability and support that the organization offers. So it's a really great organization that helps kids out. I obviously don't want anyone to feel obliged, but if you are inclined to learn more about it, you can find more about the Heroes Save Villages initiative and the SOS Children's Villages International Charity by clicking through. And last but not least, I want to thank my brave students. So, Brandon, Bodo, Arlen, John, Colin, and Andrew, thank you for joining us. Guys, thanks all for joining me in Glantri City. And
Thank you so much.
give me an opportunity to introduce Pathfinder 2 to you guys.
Yeah.
man.
Great.
Cheers,
It
Kip.
was great.
Excellent. So then, for those listening at home, again, thanks again for watching. And until next time, happy